Hello and welcome to Working Dad Trader. This is my March 2021 Trading 212 portfolio update. Have we all been having a really bad month? I think most of us have. Obviously, March has been a real downturn in the market. I think it sort of started the very end of February, it then started going down, and it's been a pretty struggle since. I think from a lot of the social media sites I've been on and the chats, there's been a lot of people who've been suffering, and that's just the way the market has been. It's been a lot happening. Obviously, it's affected my portfolio as well. It's still not recovered yet. I think we're going to be in for a lot more downturn, a lot more pain for a bit longer yet. But we shall have a look. And just remember, guys, it's really important for you to give me a like. It really does help my channel. And if you could be kind enough to subscribe, that really does mean a lot to me and helps my channel grow. For all the people that have already subscribed and have made their subscription public, then I do try and list people as a big thank you for doing that, because it really does mean a lot to me. So thank you very much for that. And without further ado, let's go into and have a look how my portfolio has been going. Okay. Okay, so this is my Trading 212 portfolio as of the 25th of March. Obviously, the last month has been a real rough month. All of us, I think, have pretty much had our portfolios go down during the last month. Mine's currently sitting just under 7. It was slightly higher than that yesterday, but we had a pretty rough day yesterday in the stock market. If we look back to its highs, which was about 25% up, I was on the 11th of February, and now it's obviously dropped all the way down. I think the worst it got down to was about 3%, 3.5%. So it's recovered a little bit since that. I said at the start of the year and in previous videos that I was expecting a rough year. It wasn't going to be plain sailing after the crash last year. It was going to be very up and down. This sell-off of stocks, especially in the Nasdaq, has been coming for a while, so it was expected. But at the moment, I'm still quite happy with just under 7%. Like I say, it was slightly higher than that yesterday. But it's just one of these times where the stock market is going for a healthy correction, and I'm not too worried. If we have a look at my actual portfolio stocks, it's been a fairly quiet month, to be fair. I mean, with a lot of stocks down, it's been some buying opportunities, but I had already bought quite a lot in February when it all started to go down. So this month, there's not been a lot happening other than I sold off EHang, which was a speculative position. I think circumstances with EHang changed for a minute and it's a bit unclear. And with all this going on, I wanted to not have so many speculative positions at the moment. I wanted to go a bit safer. So that's all really that happened. The only stock I did buy into was Costco. I'm quite a big fan of Costco. I looked into their financials and they're really, really good. And obviously once they've dropped recently, then I thought it was a really good opportunity to get into the company. If we look on the yearly chart, so yeah, I got in quite low. I thought it was a really good opportunity to get into Costco. They're a massive company around the world. And like I say, their financials are really good. Really good growth, and they've done really well through the lockdown across the world. And they're a bit more of a safer sort of company than a speculative one. They also return uh, a dividend, so I'm quite happy to put some money in Costco. But other than that, I haven't bought a great deal. There's been a lot going on where I haven't been able to invest so much money this month in my own personal life. So obviously, as a working family person, not all your money can't always go into the stock market. Sometimes you've got bills to pay and different things to pay for, um, but that's just what it is. Um, so, but other than that, I'm quite happy. My stock portfolio is what it is really. Obviously, the China stocks recently are taking a bit of a hit. So Alibaba is still down. I've got quite a big position in Alibaba, so I'm still down 5% in that one. But I think that one by the end of the year will come good again. It's just going through some short-term pain, so I'm not worried at the minute. I think Alibaba will struggle for a few months yet. Amazon again, obviously down, obviously with the hit on any sort of tech type of companies. It's affecting all those. Apple, I did buy a little bit of Apple in March at the start. So that's where that is. But like a lot of the stocks are red at the moment. AT&T. A lot of my UK stocks, like Avon Rubber, they've been going sideways as well, really, and for a long time. So the UK market really hasn't got going or recovered at all yet. I mean, that's going to be a real slow burn in the UK market. Maybe as all the vaccines kick in and we begin to come out of our long lockdowns, that the UK market can get going again and we'll see some improvement on some of the UK stocks I hold. But I'm still happy with companies like Avon Rubber. I think they will come good again, so I'm in a good position there. They've all been struggling. I mean, Beyond Meat is down from its highs. Canadian Solar was a lot higher than it is now. Again, I'm confident that company will do well as the year goes on. I think that company's got a big future. I'm sat on 32% at the moment, and I think that will recover nicely. Corsair Gaming, that's having a bit of a nightmare at the moment. That's really getting hit hard. So that's one to just keep an eye on. It's always been a up and down stock anyway. So I will just keep an eye on that one. That one is a slight concern for me, but at the minute I'm not too worried. The rest, CVS Health doing well. Facebook, I'm still going along quite nicely. Games Workshop, which is a UK stock. I'm a big believer in this company. Again, they've got fantastic financials. At the minute, it's about just under 3% down. During January and February, I was buying more stock of Games Workshop Group. And I'm confident in this company, so I'm not worried at all. I think this company will recover. And if I did have more money to invest, I'd probably invest a bit more in Games Workshop. The iShares Global Clean Energies took quite a big hit of late. Again, I would think that was really overvalued last year. It's had a massive pullback. But I think that will recover and start to go back up again as the year unfolds. Lockheed Martin, which was one of the safe companies I started to adjust my portfolio into at the start of the year, it's going along quite nicely. That's one of the positives. Magnet International is doing really well for me. Really pleased with that. A lot of the other stocks, I mean, Mercado Libre has took a massive hit. I'm confident in that company. Again, it's going to recover, so it's just a case of being patient and not panicking, and things will come good again. PayPoint is one of my UK stocks that I really did buy for sort of short-term interest, thinking that when I bought it, it would recover from its position, and within 6 months, I would sell out at a profit. It's just gone sideways for at least 6 months, so that's been a bit disappointing. So I'm going to have to hold that one for a bit longer, but I'm confident that one will sort itself out, I think, when the UK market picks up, and it will recover to close to where it is, so that's fine. 10 Cent Music, which has been affected over the last few days. There's been a lot of rumours of the US going to delist sort of Chinese companies from their market, unless they follow certain guidelines and regulations, and it's really affected any Chinese stocks that trade in China, Hong Kong, and the US market. So Tencent was going along really, really well, but it took a 27% nosedive yesterday. If anything, I'm quite interested in adding more shares. So we'll see. I'll see what money I've got after I've been paid on payday. But again, it's a massive company, and I think it's going to do really well. So I'm quite confident in that one. Union Pacific is one of my safe, stable companies. Pays a dividend. I'm really pleased with that company. It holds a fairly solid position in my portfolio. The big railway company. Always going to need stock and goods and stuff delivered around the US, so I don't think anything really affects that so much, really. It's been going well for a long time. And Walt Disney is still profitable. Hopefully, as the year unwinds and they get some of those parks open and start bringing that revenue in as well. So, yeah, there's not much happened really. There's a few concerns that I'm keeping an eye on, but overall I'm quite happy with my portfolio. Like I say, I'm expecting it to take a while yet to recover, and I base that on if we look at what have we got here. We've got this is the Nasdaq on the daily charts, and I look at these sort of indicators to monitor where we are. The Nasdaq's the one that's been hit probably the hardest. As you can see on the daily chart, we've got the yellow line, which is the 25 moving average. The blue line is the 50 moving average, and the red line is the 100 moving average. The yellow has crossed the 50, which indicates at the moment we're going to still have a bit of a short-term downward trend, in my opinion, that is. What I'm looking for is the yellow line to go back above the blue 50 line, to then be back into a more upward momentum. So I don't think we're out of the woods yet of this downturn. I think it's going to be a bit rough yet for a bit longer. When I'm looking at the charts, it's bounced off the sort of 100 moving average down here, and it's sort of bounced off slightly below and came back off the 100 moving average here. So I'm looking to see if it's going to bounce off the 100 again on the daily charts, on the candles. But we could see a bit more pain yet in the Nasdaq. Like I say, there's indicators to say that it's going to be in a short-term downward trend or sideways move. So that's what I'll be looking at on the charts. If we move it to the weekly, you can see on here on the weekly charts it has bounced off the 25 weekly moving average a few times, so I'm expecting it to bounce it off again. But on the weekly, as we can see, it's still fanned out nicely. The 25 is above the 50, the 50 is above the 100, which indicates long-term upward trend. So that's still positive. So I think long-term, obviously the Nasdaq is still going to go up, but at the moment, looking at the indicators, it looks like a short-term downward or sideways move. Okay, this is the S&P 500, and again we've got the yellow line is the 25 moving average, the blue the 50, the red the 100. That's still up. This is on the daily charts. This is still in an upward momentum, so that still indicates that the S&P 500 is still on an upward trend, because the 25 is still above the 50, the 50 is still above the 100, etc. If we look on here, it's possibly it's hit the 50 moving average a few times, and again I would say we're probably looking at a downward trend again, hitting the 50 moving average before eventually going back up. It could break below the 50 again, but the one just a few weeks back hasn't got as low as the 100 moving average, so I can see it definitely getting down to the 50 moving average again before we start then making our way back up again. But the S&P 500 still looks good on an upward trend. Like I say, we're just having some corrections and some pullbacks at the moment. This is all normal in trading and nothing to worry about. If you're in really good stocks with companies that have fantastic financials, then the momentum will always go up eventually. So not to panic. At the minute we're all feeling a bit of pain, that's normal. People that have never got into stock trading before, this is a whole new experience for them. I know a lot of people have really been panicking if they've done the right thing, and seeing some people's cases their portfolio's been gone down 30%, 40%. It's quite new and quite scary for people, but not to panic. We're still an upward trend. We've just gone through this phase, which could last another few weeks, and then eventually though the market will keep going up, and I think we'll be fine. Okay, hope you found that interesting and you got something from that. My dog's now badgering me to go take her for a walk, so I'm going to have to go. Remember to give my channel a like and remember to subscribe. It really does help, and I hope to see you soon. Okay, take care.